This is section 241, and we are going to take a look at how to solve rational equations. So a common strategy that you're going to see in this lesson is a rational equation is an equation in which there's a fraction and x is in the denominator. That's it. X has to be in the denominator. If you had an equation that said 1/2 plus x equals 5, that even though there's a fraction, it is not a rational equation because x isn't in the denominator. So in this instance, because x is in the denominator, we would call this a rational equation. Now the strategy to get x out of the denominator is to multiply it. And that's actually the strategy to solve these. We want x out of the denominator. And you could even look at the equation and immediately, I'm sure you feel a little stressed. You see that and you're like, ooh, I don't like that x is in the denominator. Yep, that's a good reaction. So we get it out of the denominator. And we do that by multiplying. So because I see this x plus 1 in the denominator, that means I'm going to multiply both sides by x plus 1. Now, I'm multiplying everything by that x plus 1, which is why I put the x plus 5 in parentheses. Now, as a factor, these are going to cancel out, and so now I'm left with 2x plus 17 equals x plus 5 times x plus 1. Now we distribute x squared plus x plus 5x plus 5, right? You multiply it out. It's a binomial. Now we think to ourselves, once we do that, what type of equation is this? Okay, it's quadratic, so we want it to equal 0. So we're going to move everything to the other side, dot, 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 and we're going to solve it from there. But the rational part is getting rid of that denominator. Let's look at another one. 2 over x equals x over 5x plus 12. Again, we have x in the denominator. It's a rational equation. We want to get rid of the denominators. So you multiply by it. So first one, we can get rid of this denominator. So I'm going to multiply everything by x. So that cancels out. So I get 2 equals. Now notice how I'm rewriting it. I highly suggest that you rewrite it every step. Don't do it in your head. Don't do 50 steps all at once. Just do it line by line. What else is in the denominator now? This 5x plus 12. So we're going to multiply both sides by 5x plus 12. And so this is going to cancel out. And so distributing that 2, now I get 10x plus 24 equals x squared. Now again, we ask ourselves, what type of equation is this? Oh, it's quadratic. I want everything to equal 0. So minus 10x on both sides. Minus 24 on both sides. So I get 0 equals x squared minus 10x minus 24. Now we factor it, dot, 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 right? A times c, factors that add to b. This is how we would go through and solve it from there because it's quadratic now. Now the last thing I want to show is what happens when we have more than one fraction. Because the other two is one fraction. It's the same thing. It's just we multiply by more than one term. So I have a 2, I have a 3 times x, and then a 6 times x. Because 3 and x are different factors, we think of them as different. So to get rid of the 2, you multiply everything by 2. So the 2's cancel out here. So I get 1 plus, now notice I'm rewriting it. Rewrite it every time. Don't do so much in your head. Now let's get rid of this 3. So I'm going to multiply everything by 3. So the 3 cancels out. So 3 times 1 is 3. And then I have, should be plus. Now I'm left with 2 over x equals, well, this 3 times 2 is 6. Oh, those 6's can cancel out. So I get 1 over x. I still have an x in the denominator. So multiply everything by x. times x times x times x. So you get 3x equals, 3x plus 2 equals 1. This is a line. Subtract 2 on both sides. 3x equals negative 1. Divide by 3. And that's going to be our solution. So what did we learn today? We learned how to solve rational equations. Now the secret to get rid of the denominator is by multiplying by it. So if I have 1 over 7 plus 1 over x equals 3 over 5, there are 3 things in the denominator. You multiply by it to get rid of it. So multiply everything by 7. That cancels out. 1 plus 7 over x equals 21 over 5. Now I can multiply by x, etc., etc. So you multiply everything by it. This does conclude our lesson. If you have any other questions, please leave them in the comments.